He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
And welcome back to an episode of Ministry of Truth. I am your number one host on this show, and I assume it's way too early or way too late for me to be on. Or, there's other reasons. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I got a little bit for you today. Some of it's new news, some of it's not new news, and some of it's things that you're not supposed to know or think about. Because thinking is a bad thing to do these days. And well, what happens when you think? Well, maybe you get arrested, maybe you get thrown in jail, but that shit never happens. It's just a joke. But before we get anything, we gotta start off music, because, well, fuck you, that's why. Hope y'all enjoy brand new one from Gadsden, Alabama. Throwback. Shout out to the 22. Oh, that's
Rigor mortis, found him in a slump, sitting there lifeless. Purple and blood, body stiff as a board. Raise him up, but he slumped right back. Set back against the wall, I ain't know how to act. Everything got real far away, then it started closing in fast like I was alive in the grave. Feeling strange talking to you, but you's already gone.
Phoenix? Good
Even
morning
called
to
your
you.
spirit back, but it was already home. I cried out to the Lord, I know that you hear me. Please bring my brother back, but it was solid and empty. So I sat and talked to my dead friend till the medics arrived. Crazy man, I ain't tell you goodbye, but give peace to the ones in the grave. Pray you in paradise, where you lay. Stay free, looking out for us, heaven awaits. And when I enter the gates, I hope I see in your face. To give peace to the ones in the grave. Pray you in paradise, where you lay. Stay free, looking out for us, heaven awaits. And when I enter the gates, I hope I see in your face. Too much is never enough until you're horizontal, laying under 6 feet of dirt. Work your whole life just to have a little bit, and then you throw your life away for just a little hit. And they say this here the good stuff, this here the fire water, make your toes curl, be the party starter, get you up there walking Clyde down in your mind, but you be already slumped, paralyzed and you die. And it's a shame, everybody know your name, everybody seen you win and losing, you would be ashamed. You're supposed to be the glue that help to hold this thing together. You can weather any storm, come out stronger and better. Now you headed to heaven, knocking on the pearly gates. Keep it said that you early, you told him better than late. He said that's up for debate. There's a whole generation of dudes that follow your example, walking in your boots. Salute. Give peace to the ones in the grave. Pray you in paradise, where you lay. Stay free, looking out for us, heaven awaits. And when I enter the gates, I hope I see in your face. And give peace to the ones in the grave. Pray you in paradise, where you lay. Stay free, looking out for us, heaven awaits. And when I enter the gates, I hope I see in your face.
some Jam Wayne for you. I like that song. Little known fact, that dude's from
The State
Gadsden,
Department
Alabama, literally 35 minutes away from where I went to high school. So, little Alabama represent. Anyway, a lot of things happened this weekend. We're going to go over a few of them. One of them being a State Department issued a warning, travel warning, to a certain protected class in the United States. However, once they go overseas, they are no longer a protected class. And well, let's see why certain people shouldn't be traveling in June.
has issued a worldwide alert for Americans traveling overseas. The alert reads, in part, due to the potential for terrorist attacks, demonstrations, or violent actions against U.S. citizens and interests, the Department of State advises U.S. citizens overseas to exercise increased caution. Sources tell CBS News
There
the
we go.
warning is a result of recent intelligence citing threats by ISIS against Pride events in parts of Europe. Pride Month begins in June. CBS News national security contributor Sam Vinograd joins us now. So, Sam, how significant is this warning?
Well, Lana, the State Department's priority overseas is protecting.
No, that guy, the Jam Wayne, he lives 35 minutes from where my family's house is.
The State Department has various ways to publicly warn Americans overseas about risks. They have travel advisories for particular countries, and they have this worldwide caution security alert system when there are more dispersed threats. Typically, these alerts do mean that there is specific or credible intelligence about a specific threat stream. We know that the alert issued on Friday references.
Did ISIS really put this out, or is it another lie by the State Department? Which, you know, the way it goes, it could be both either way. So we don't really know. But hey, June, there's a high threat and travel security threat to, you know, the protected class community. What's up, Lart?
Advising Americans to avoid places frequented by tourists and to stay alert when participating in Pride Month events around the world. Now, this State Department alert follows a public safety announcement by the FBI and DHS earlier this week that warned about the threat of foreign terrorist organization-inspired attacks here in the homeland. The FBI DHS alert noted the historical record of foreign terrorist organizations like ISIS in inspiring attacks and encouraging supporters globally to attack LGBTQI events. Behind the scenes, I would imagine that there is more specific operational preparedness being done to protect Pride events and to get more granular detail about where there may be specific and credible intelligence related to this threat stream.
YouTube don't like
Sam,
it. I had
let's
to go
turn
on
to Capitol Hill
chat.
because 3 top security officials testified before the Senate this week on threats ahead of the 2024 election. What are your takeaways?
Threats to who?
Well, there were really 2 main messages coming out of this testimony on election security. First, the threat environment is increasingly challenging.
How did travel threat go to election security?
That election preparedness is stronger.
All right.
We are following this
those of you that
breaking news.
know, I've been, hello, Dom. Been saying for a while, why don't we charge Benjamin Netanyahu with war crimes for what he's currently doing over in the Gaza Strip? And, you know, you say that, and people are like, oh my God, you're anti-Semitic. No, I'm anti-fucking Israeli bullying. What the fuck, you 2 idiots? Oh, I'm sorry. And maybe the International Crimes Court heard me? Just kidding, they probably didn't. Well, this is good news and showing that, well, you're not above the law there, buddy. You're on thin ice. No?
International Criminal Court moments ago announced it is seeking arrest warrants for the leaders of Hamas for the October 7th terrorist attack in Israel and also seeking arrest warrants for the political and military leadership of the State of Israel.
Got 'em.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, Hamas's top political and military leaders also being sought for crimes against humanity, all named just now. CNN's chief international anchor, Christiane Amanpour, has this exclusive interview with the special prosecutor at the International Criminal Court, Karim Khan, who announced it to her just moments ago. And she's joining us right now from The Hague. Christiane, tell us more about what you've learned.
Well, Kate, we broke this earlier on CNN some 20 minutes ago. It is an incredibly important turning point in this war since Hamas invaded parts of Israel, slaughtered so many people, took so many hostages, and in the aftermath since Israel went to war against Hamas and has caused so many civilian casualties, and what international officials say starvation and famine also imposed. So these form the basis of the ICC charges, and they are now seeking arrest warrants that will have to be approved by a panel of independent judges here. I am at the ICC based on these things that I told you. And here are the crimes. There are some 8 crimes, charges alleged on both sides, starting with Hamas because of the timeline, obviously. October 7th was what Hamas did. Here's what he told me. We're here at the ICC.
Oh man.
You are today announcing
Looks like
that you are
Kingpin.
applying for arrest warrants for top military and political leadership in the Israel-Gaza war since the October 7th events. First and foremost, explain to me exactly what you're asking for and who you are charging.
Today, Christian, we've applied for warrants to the pretrial chamber of the International Criminal Court in relation to 3 individuals that are Hamas members. Sinwar, who's in charge on the ground.
That's Yahya Sinwar?
Absolutely. Daif, who's in charge of the Al-Qasim Brigade. And Hania, who's one of their political bureau based in Doha.
What are the charges?
The charges are extermination, murder, taking of hostages, rape and sexual assault
So by
in
extermination,
detention.
do you think he
So
means
these are the key
genocide? Or is it from the 1700? Considering it's
crimes
Hamas.
that are alleged to have been committed by these 3 individuals. The world was shocked on the 7th of October when people were ripped from their bedrooms, from their homes, from the different kibbutzim in Israel. And people have suffered enormously, and we have a variety of evidence to support the applications that we've submitted to the judges.
You have also issued
who's in charge
warrants
of the
against
council,
the
though?
top political and military leadership of the government of the State of Israel.
We've applied for warrants. Of course, the judges must determine whether or not to issue them, but we've applied today. We'll apply.
Again, who are these judges? Who do they work for? Because, you know, they might be pro-Israeli, pro-American, well, if we keep having war, then we can have this one world government.
Apply for warrants for Prime Minister Netanyahu and also Minister of Defense Gallant for the crimes of causing extermination, causing starvation as a method of war, including the denial of humanitarian relief supplies, deliberately
Even to this
targeting
day.
civilians in conflict.
So what you're hearing is the layout of the crimes. So it is crimes against humanity and war crimes. And in addition, the prosecutor has said, just so that everybody understands, that he has issued this request for arrest warrants based on the reasonable belief on grounds that these are criminal offenses that can meet a conviction standard. It's not just reasonable grounds that they could go to trial. This is higher, the standard of conviction based on the evidence that he and his teams have collected so far and that are in the public
When was
domain.
the last time a warrant was actually issued for them? Wasn't the last time they were arrested? And what exactly kind of punishment do they get? I don't think I've seen that happen in my lifetime.
Christian, Sarah here. A couple of things. One, I wanted to ask you just about the unprecedented nature that this is, I think, the first time that a democratic government has been brought under these potential warrants, and how they've gone about gathering evidence when getting into Gaza off is very, very difficult.
So on the first issue, I put that to Prosecutor Karim Khan, obviously, and I said this is the first time that this has happened in a democratic situation when we're talking about the Israeli side. And he said that is true. And if Israel were to take this up, or had taken it up, the judicial system, when we first warned about this months ago, then they would have jurisdiction. If they choose to do so now, they will have jurisdiction. So that's clear. He said that they have not chosen to do such a thing, even though, as he said to me, and he said it publicly, that when I warned at all these international conferences, when I warned in my face-to-face meetings with Israel.
So this kitten, brand new kitten we've got, is playing with the older cat, and the cat is whooping his ass. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, get him. That big one's fucking demolishing him.
Israeli officials that this is the warning, aid is not getting through, starvation is setting in, people are dying. that don't complain if then my office does something about it if you don't. So that's on that issue. And then on the other issue of evidence, part of it is in the public domain. Part of it is what's been reported over and again. Part of it is what's been said. And I'm talking about Israel now. Obviously, we're going to get to the Hamas thing. It's important to know that in the prosecutor's timeline, in his indictment sheet, and you'll see on the press release, they listed the crimes that they are charging Hamas with on October 7th. And we'll get to that in a second. But since you're asking me about the unprecedented nature of
So, if they can put out a warrant, right, for Israeli Defense Forces, the president, whatnot, right? Can it do the same thing for the United States? Get the fuck down! Do the same thing in the United States for providing Israel with some of these weapons? I mean, that would... Get the cat! That would only make sense.
democracy being so charged. They go back to Yoav Gallant, because don't forget, Yoav Gallant, defense minister of Israel, has also been charged, and they, among others, see as intent his statement on October the 9th. We are imposing a complete siege. There will be no electricity, no food, no water, no fuel. Everything is closed. We are fighting human animals, and we will act accordingly. Netanyahu, October 13th. We will exact a price that will be remembered by them and Israel's other enemies for decades to come. Now, that's part of it. The other part is all the physical and other testimony by U.S. officials, let's say USAID, by international aid organizations, the UN, and all the others, by the very fact that the United States has had to build some pier on the side of Gaza, and some countries have had to drop aid in, that the demand for aid going in is not happening. And this is the basis of the majority of the case against Israel at the moment. That this is, no matter, as he explained, Israel, of course, has the right under any statute to defend itself from attack, but has to protect civilians. And this is something
since the beginning of this, after that October 7th attack, how many Hamas attacks have been on outside of the Gaza Strip into Palestinian Israeli territory? How many?
The United States has been calling for from the very beginning, as well as many, many others of Israel's allies. So they believe that that has not been adhered to, that aid has not gone in, that famine in enough bulk, that famine is there in some parts, and that...
So aid is getting in. I saw a video yesterday from the pier, and trucks full of aid supposedly stolen by the Gazans, which is weird because that's where the aid was supposed to go. But these trucks were driven to an area and the food was distributed. Kind of reminded me almost like the beginning of Black Hawk Down, when the UN foods came in and they bum rushed it, and then the warlords came and took the food. But the warlords didn't take the food, though. It was for the people, by the people. No, just kidding. It was given to the people. Now, whether or not it was all about the Rafah crossing where Israel's bombing, so maybe they don't need it there.
There have been deaths by starvation and malnutrition-related diseases. Now, and they've had many conversations, the prosecutor tells me, with officials inside Israel on this. Now, on the other side, regarding Hamas, the prosecutor has been to the areas inside Israel which were attacked by Hamas.
What's up, NTF?
The site of the rave party, the Nova party. He has been there. He's talked to people, and to hostage families, and he also has seen the evidence that was on all sorts of videos, all sorts of body cams that has been provided, certainly in the public domain, but also by the Israeli government, regarding the crimes committed by Hamas on October the 7th. So they have that amount of evidence that has been sufficient, they say, for this round of arrest warrants and charges. And they say that they will continue to investigate, and this may not be the end of it. So let's just again, sum up. On the Hamas side, Yahya Sinwar, the head of Hamas, mostly military. Mohammed al-Masri, who's better known as Mohammed Deif, his deputy, head of the military wing of Hamas, the Al-Qassam brigades, and Ismail Haniyeh, the head of political arm of Hamas, who frankly is involved in negotiations currently, indirect negotiations between Hamas and Israel regarding the release of Israeli hostages and the capture of Israeli hostages, the sexual offenses and violations and rapes by Hamas.
Apparently, IDF found 3 more hostages, dead hostages, in the site of the massacre, I guess. They just now found 2 or 3 dead hostages, months later. So they weren't searching, or what's the fucking deal? Or are you supposed to believe that they were airdropped in there? Come on, bro.
Hamas also form part of these crimes against humanity that are being sought on arrest warrants for Hamas.
Officers are serving a warrant for the arrest.
All right, so here we go again. This is a child predator that has child porn, and they know he has child porn, right? And, well, the police officers go to arrest the guy, and guess what? He's having a standoff with a knife against police. Who would have thought a predator would have a weapon inside the house? Who would have thought?
Of a suspected child predator. However, complicating matters is the fact the suspect has armed himself with a knife in each hand.
Stand up with your hands up, you're gonna get shot. Come on!
I ain't leaving with you, so f*** off.
I can't make you do anything, but I can ask you nicely. I'm requesting that you put the knife down and that you work with me.
Leave.
Tim, I can gather that you don't want to have contact with us. The quickest way to get us out of your hair is to just work with us.
Leave.
This can all be over in 5 minutes, or we can sit here for hours. We will literally sit here for days if we have to, Tim.
Leave. That's your option.
The shocking reason officers were called here to begin with is the suspect, Tim, has been caught with possession of child pornography.
Get away from my
Get his
over
ass.
there now. Leave. I said leave. 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 I said leave. Leave. Keep raising that thing and you're gonna make me snap.
What can we do here, man? Do you need time to think?
You put that thing away and you can fucking leave.
I want nothing more than to put this away, Tim. But like I explained to you, I can't put it away while you have a knife out.
No, I ain't putting the knife away.
You should.
What if we do it at the same time?
You're right. And the mother behind you will tase me. I ain't stupid. Now piss off.
Tim, my main goal is just making sure that people are safe. I'm more than happy to put my gun away if that's going to be what makes that happen. But I wouldn't feel safe standing here without a gun in my hand if you have a knife open, dude.
And I'm not going to tase you just because you dropped the knife. I promise that, Tim.
You're a guy.
He'll tase you if you don't drop the knife.
I'm not stupid. All men are liars.
Yo, check this out. I'm not going to talk to you guys because all men are fucking liars. Now let's see what happens when he throws the reverse card.
Would it help you to speak to a female?
No.
Leave.
Tim, can we put our weapons away?
No response.
Yeah, you can. And then you can leave.
What if we all put our weapons away at the same time? You fold the knife, I put my gun back in my holster, and then we can just keep talking. Let's just take baby steps, dude. Let's just get there. Can we do that?
Leave.
Tim, we can't go anywhere, but I'm willing to meet you halfway. Like I said, I'm willing to compromise. I'm just trying to talk to you man to man. If it'll make it easier for you to think and for you to have a conversation with us,
the mattress has
we can all put our weapons away, but we need you to do the same thing. I hope you understand where I'm coming from with that.
Roommate?
If I put my gun away, will you fold the knife? I need a yes or no, dude. So I'm willing to do that.
No, I'll think about it.
You want to think about it for a second? Think about it. Take some time, dude.
Hi, Tim.
Oh.
My name's Brooke.
Oh, Brooke.
I know you said before that you don't trust men, but would you be willing to talk to me?
Leave.
All right.
Can you help us out?
Get a trend.
Leave.
What do you think about our compromise, Tim? I put my gun away, you fold the knife? Like we said, we're not going to tase you. We're not willing to do that right now. We don't want to do that.
It's a folding
Can we
knife?
just put our weapons away so we can figure this out?
You can do whatever you want with yours.
Well, like I said,
like
Tim.
putting it away, getting the out of my house.
I can't put it away till you fold the knife.
Put his dick away?
Leave.
Your family's worried about you. Your mom's been on the phone with family nonstop. They're worried about you. I am too.
I said leave.
Let's think about all of the things that your family members would miss if you make this worse for yourself, man. I have to imagine they're looking forward to continuing to talk to you for years and years and years.
Leave.
Tim, let's take steps forward in this negotiation. Let's figure something out.
What? Heck
Nothing.
no. I heard you say something.
I didn't say anything, so.
We're going to be here for a little while, so we got some other people that are going to come and help us out, okay?
You gonna bring some food?
You're all gonna leave.
Man, I think you got a perfect opportunity here to make a good decision.
You have a perfect opportunity to shut the up and leave.
All right.
Well, we can't leave, dude.
You're going to.
We gotta get this resolved, Tim, before we can leave.
It is resolved. Get the out of my house.
In my
Leave.
experience, people aren't this stubborn if they did anything wrong, if they feel like they did anything wrong. So, I mean, with every fiber of my being, I want to believe you that you haven't done anything wrong. But unfortunately, at this point, we can't just leave. And the only way for you to prove that and to prove us all wrong and prove whoever's wrong that sent us here is for you to work the system.
Or system. Shut up and leave.
Well, you got to tell your side of the story, Tim. It's the only way to beat all of this.
Leave.
So I need you to put the knife down. I need you to fold it up, put it away,
Leave.
so that we can go.
Make this
We
a
can do
drinking
that.
game. Hold
Now.
on.
Taken
I
care
didn't
of
say bring
peacefully.
more dumb mother into my house. I said leave.
All right.
Tim, we can't leave until we get this resolved peacefully.
Nice. I don't know why you
You're
need
speak in this house. Speak so everybody can hear you. Or
a
don't
rifle.
speak at all.
I think they're trying to make it so that we can have a conversation, Tim, without getting distracted. I don't know what they said either.
I don't care. Leave.
Tim, how we doing?
Uh-oh.
We have a conversation? Do you know what's going on? You know why we're here?
Don't care at this point. I said leave.
Tim, I'm gonna be straight with you right now, okay? We're gonna take you into custody.
You're gonna leave. Is what
Listen,
you said.
like 30 times.
There's an easy way and a hard way, right?
Fuck up.
We don't want to get hurt. We don't want you to get hurt. You gonna come with us?
Leave. Leave. Leave.
Right now. Stand up, put your hands up, or you're gonna get shot. Do it right now. Stand up with your hands up, or you're gonna get shot. Last warning. Impact,
No, for
impact.
shits and giggles, because,
Get
you
up.
know, why not? They should have thrown a flashbang before they went in. Throw it on the other side so he doesn't hit him.
With your hands up now, you're gonna get it again. Stand up.
Back the up.
Impact, impact. Stand up, Tim.
Back off.
No.
Back off from a swear to God, I'm gonna
Yep.
swing you.
Tim, come on, man. Drop the knife.
Tim, stand up, you're gonna get another sponge round. Stand up now.
Oh,
on,
the
Tim,
shot
do it,
went
bud.
down.
Get up.
Come on, Tim.
Get up, or you're gonna get another one.
Come on, man.
Stand
Do
up.
it again.
Put your
Just
hands
stand up for us, bud, and it's all done.
Put your hands up, Tim, right now.
You get.
Impact, impact,
So one of you
impact.
get.
Stand up with your
Come on,
hands
bud.
now.
Well, you're gonna have
Come
to
on, man.
shoot him somewhere other
I
than
want
the
to tease
pillow.
you. Come on, man. Come on.
Fuck it,
Come on. Come on. Get up.
Here you go, you got a fucking spear.
Come on.
Yeah, he's fine.
Timothy proceeds to swing at the officers with his knife, and he makes contact with one of them. Luckily, the officer's protective gear stopped it from reaching his actual body. Due to the aggressive nature of this struggle, we've decided to show only a few clips that hint at just how violent this encounter was.
Knife in the head. Let go and then I'll let it off the taser. Let it go.
I can't open it.
Open it.
I can't.
Open your hands.
Violent.
I can't. Get off of me.
We will. Drop the knife and we'll get off you. Drop the knife right now. Give me my taser. We'll put it right into the arm.
All these
Let go.
cameras.
This is your chance. He's kicking. I'm slipping. Your fingers are going to break, Tim. Let go. Let go. All right, we almost got it. We got it. We got it. Quit fighting like me. I know.
It'd be great if all the pedophiles got together like this.
All right.
I can't breathe.
Grab first. Watch kick. Fine. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I've always found of all the fucking cardio you can do, fucking, I don't know how you would say this on the outside. We called it rolling. Basically, it was combatives. Man, within the first minute and a half, you're fucking winded.
Cuffs. Deep breaths, Tim. Deep breaths, Tim.
You good, Tim?
Everybody got?
Yep.
Everybody secure?
Everybody secure. You got yours?
After this disastrous situation with the police, Tim was charged with first-degree attempted homicide because of his use of a knife during the altercation.
Good.
He was also charged with failure to comply with an officer's arrest, 2 counts of resisting, obstructing, 8 counts of battery threats to law enforcement, and first-degree reckless endangerment. These charges were all in addition to the initial possession of child pornography.
That's all on top of the child pornography
charge. He is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
That motherfucker's going to jail forever. Well, it's Minnesota, so maybe not. And it is against the cops, so they probably won't care about that. Yeah. I guess that could have ended differently. Yeah, if they actually shot him, that would have been different too. But I think at that point when he started swinging at him, there was too many cops in the area, and they already deployed the taser, so it was kind of like a bum rush. And like you said, he got stabbed in his body armor, so. Now here's a little bit of I guess you would call it alternate history. We're gonna have a class on history, and the erasure of history to remember what you want it to, or what they want it to be today, which also falls into the next video after this, because what happens when we give them everything they want in total control?
People are just completely back for another video. Hey everybody, welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be talking
This is why I love going downtown. If you have like a historic district downtown, guarantee you won't know it, but there will be this. The building under the building.
More about amnesia that seems to creep into the historical timeline, because when you look at these buried levels, a lot of times people are just completely unaware of them. Even the native peoples, whether it's Native Americans or the Aboriginals, they seem to largely be unaware of these buried levels a lot of time. The first site I want to take a look at is Kendallville in northeast Indiana. 2020, they found more of these buried doors and windows, and we're told that this city was laid out in 1849. So again, it's given a fairly recent date, but during road work, they found these buried levels that nobody was aware of. And just a point of interest, the Underground Railroad apparently runs through northeast Indiana as well. And I just came across that while looking into Kendallville, just a point of interest. But I just grabbed a few snippets from the article talking about some of this road work in Kendallville, and one of the paragraphs was just talking about how officials are scratching their heads, and you also had the mayor as well as the redevelopment commission. They weren't aware of any of these entrances as well. And even if you go back into the photographic record, going back to the late 1800s, there are no photos that clearly show any sub-level entrances. So just once again, nobody's aware, yet they're there. And I think it speaks to this destruction that happened.
When those the mud floods came, all they keep doing is building on top of what's already there. So we don't even know when the buildings actually came about, such as the White House and all those things, because all we're told it was built in this time and time and time. Well, it was also burned down and rebuilt, so who's going to make you think that it wasn't already there? But it didn't belong to the colonizers. It actually belonged to a different time in history.
Further back in our past, and it's just being covered up. And there's actually another site that was exposed lower levels in, I think, 2020 as well, and it's in Shelbyville, Illinois. And again, more of this road work that exposed these buried levels. But in this case, they said that it was used for coal storage, and I do believe that a lot of these buildings have been adapted after the fact, and they did use coal, and they brought the coal in through these lower levels. But I think that initially all this was just buried at one point, and it just been adapted after the fact. But that's my opinion. But I talked about Melbourne, Australia, 2017. They found all these buried blocks, and unfortunately, people just collectively forgot about it, even though it supposedly happened in the 1850s and 60s. And this is a major city, and it's in the central business.
Guys, no, like, I really have this hard time believing anything that's written in history after the 1900s. And you'll hear me all the time. I'll ask you if you ask me something like, what year was it or made? And I'll be like, I'll ask you what year it was made. And it's anywhere between 1850 and 1890. I have to think real hard whether or not that was true or not.
District, so it doesn't seem very likely. But then if you go to the west coast of the United States, the Pacific Northwest, they find these buried Indian villages. And this was an article talking about the U.S.'s lost 2,000-year-old village. And in my opinion, they're painting the picture that there's this continuity with the Native American populations in the area. I don't think that's the case.
And if you look at what area it was, look on the map. It's pretty much between it's on the tip of Washington, right by looks like Canada, and then it goes to the back to the lady they're about to show you. And they're going to mention it. Look at the coins. These were typically good luck coins in places like China.
In the area, I don't think that's the case. And there was a mudslide that buried this particular village, which is indicated here on the map. But in 1970, a violent storm uncovered this macaw village that was buried by a mudslide. And one of the things of note with these excavations that happened after was that they found iron implements like chisels and knives that were discovered. And a lot of the iron to make tools wasn't readily available on the West Coast, so they had to come from outside influences. So we're told that a lot of this was associated with shipwrecks. But I think people were being visited on the West Coast by the Chinese, the Russians, the Spanish. But I think it happened at an earlier point than we're being told. And when you look at the timing of this village, when they say it got buried, you're going to find a mix of dates. So several say 300 up here, another 300, and then this bottom one says between 300 and 500 years ago, it was buried by all this mud. And I think the reason why they're throwing the 300-year date out is because there was this mega earthquake that happened, we're told, in the year 1700. And I think that whatever caused this event, I very well could have been an earthquake, but I think it goes back further than the year 1700. But I think why you're seeing 300 years mentioned as when that village was buried is because of this earthquake. I think they want to line up the dates of when it was buried with this earthquake, because this tsunami that they've now linked to this earthquake, that didn't happen until 1996. They've actually linked this tsunami with that earthquake in 1996, because when you actually look at this village, they made it a historic site and they wanted to add it to the National Register, and that application occurred in 1974. And at that time, they said the mudslide occurred 500 years ago. But now, later, they've decided that this mega earthquake happened in the year 1700. In the 1990s, now they've linked it to this particular earthquake, the tsunami. So
hear me out. I'm going to sound crazy again. That when you think about how I said between the year 800 and 1800, maybe that really, how do I say this, didn't exist. Maybe we're not as old as we think we are, as far as this civilization. I mean, you don't know. Maybe time really is irrelevant. There's questions everywhere.
I think that's why you're seeing these varied dates. But there's all kinds of evidence for this destruction that they're associating with the 1700s, but I think it's much earlier. Now, one other thing I want to mention here is there is a mystery associated with this island in the South Pacific, the Isle of Pines. And the mystery surrounds all of these tumuli, these mounds, over 400 of these mounds that nobody's quite sure who constructed them, even for what purpose, because they don't find any bodies, they don't find tools. But what's also interesting about these mounds is they found within a lot of them these blocks of concrete within them. And concrete technology in the South Pacific was actually only introduced, we're told, a few centuries ago. So how do these mounds have this concrete within them when that technology didn't even exist? And I should mention here, once again, we're told there were the Melanesian peoples in this area, and we're told that they go back themselves upwards of 1,000 years. Yet they're completely unaware of any of these mounds, who built them. So once again, there's a lot of amnesia even with the native peoples who were told were there for 1,000+ years. Well, what I find interesting is also what can be found on this island is the remnants of a penal colony. The ruins of this penal colony can be seen on the west of the island, and it was inhabited by prisoners, we're told, in the 1870s. Now, I think this penal colony might be a lot older than we're being told, because if we look at Tasmania, and I blew it up here underneath Australia, there is a site at Port Arthur, and it's a historic site, but it's one of these penal colonies. Again, we're told it was in operation early to mid 1800s, but I think it's much older and it looks ancient. But during excavations, I believe in 2020, they found these workshops. So there was traces of this early industrial period, and they found digging through clay like this upside down anvil. And if we go back to Melbourne and talking about all the buried blocks, they found, I believe it was an iron foundry. They were producing these steamships, boilers. So I think that there was this early colonial period, and they got up to a certain level of technology, and then there was some disaster, but it's earlier than the colonial period we're aware of. So when I see the remnants of this penal colony, just like Port Arthur in Tasmania, which I think is older, I think this site is older, and they probably had access to the production of concrete, and that might explain why you find all these mounds with concrete in them. But that raises another question as to why is there all these mounds? What was the purpose of this penal colony at a previous point, if indeed it is older? A lot of questions.
Now, how much gold was on that little island? Right? Make me sound crazy again. But remember, gold is what they needed. The original life forms on this earth, the Anunnaki, because they needed the gold. And guess who was more than happy to mine it for them? Because they thought they were gods.
But I think that the site is older. These sites are older. That's why we have all this amnesia, because we're being told these things are from certain dates and everyone's just shaking their heads. But in reality, I think they're much older. So that's what I think is going on. I should mention here, just point of note, is that there was a book written in 1668 called The Isle of Pines. And it's about this utopian civilization. There was a shipwreck of, I believe, a British person and 4 women, and they have a certain level of technology. But over the course of several generations, they lose all that technology. And it's just interesting that you have this lost technology on this island of pines with regards to the concrete. So I just thought that was an interesting note. I just wanted to mention it here at the end. But
and that's why I question so much of what history tells you. You, like he said, they tell you one thing, but it doesn't make sense. And if you question it, well, then you're a conspiracy theorist, or uneducated. But you got to think about, like, when those buildings in the U.S., man, when they do dig down, they actually keep finding more and more. And that's why I was always, when I go into these older buildings, I would ask them, hey, does this place have a basement? And then I either say yes or no. I was like, well, is there another basement under that? And sometimes they'll give you a weird look, like, what the fuck are you talking about? But occasionally be like, yeah, there's another one. And you see places like the area you showed you, there was, I believe, in Italy, where you can see almost an 30-foot structure that was built, and they built more houses on top of that were completely different style. I don't know. All right, now we're going to switch from that to what might happen in the history or in this world if we continue down the path of the government's great, the government's here to help. AI is, oh yeah, AI is the next best thing since sliced bread. I really don't know what they did before sliced bread, because shit, man, life must have sucked. This one is a animation. There's no words, so some of you that are on a little screen listening, you might have to watch it later. But hopefully it didn't strike me, because that guy didn't answer. I know about Evansville for sure. Indiana is a hotbed. Especially when you go to like the rivers and the lakes and creeks, you have carved structures that shouldn't be there. But anyway, let's get to this post-reset video animation. Like I said, I didn't get a response back if they would strike me. If they strike me, great. It's on Rumble. We'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Well, fuck, I'm late. That was our first main event. Here is the second main event. It's all about, well, 1984 on steroids. She looks like a military base in Europe. Quarantine facility. At least they got Wi-Fi. Well, I guess with all the drones, you'd need it. Growing up, this is how I imagined Eastern Europe used to be. Or it might still be. Look, a drone. It's Amazon. Well, that wasn't a hot. That was a hot water heater. Weird. No yeet. Big brother is always fun. Facial recognition. Oh, PSG. That's why he's there.
Good morning. We are bringing to you today's most important news from around the world.
Oh, shit.
Despite all the extraordinary efforts, the government and health system workers are still struggling to bend the curve of growing cases caused by the latest variant of the virus. 5 more people died today, and 30 million tested positively. Citizens are now required to wear masks when they step out to the balconies of their isolation facilities, and take them off only when they are back to the safety of their rooms. Stay compliant. stay isolated. Stay safe. And now, on to other news. As the whole planet went on the righteous crusade against climate change and global warming, we are excited to spread the word about another successful project. As science tells us, during the night, plants release CO2 into the atmosphere. CO2 is a powerful greenhouse gas that dramatically contributes to global warming. But don't worry. Almost 100,000 square miles of South American rainforest has been cleared, and this area is used to construct one of the largest solar panel fields in the world that will provide us with a tremendous amount of clean energy. We will keep fighting the deadly forests and defeat climate change. That is all for today. Stay tuned for tomorrow's news.
Ah, memories. Jeep Liberty. Oh yeah. Hey, that's me. Except for he can form.
Bruce Kowalski, your weekly food ration has arrived.
Oh, sweet, food's here. Wait for this. You like woke noodles? Beyond meat. Beyond plants? Beyond food. God damn it, Tiny.
Mask up your nose.
Mask Nazi all over again. Oh, Netflix. It's all a reality.
The Godfather movie is banned from our database for misrepresentation and stereotypization of the Italian community. Pulp Fiction movie is banned from our database for excessive violence and racist content.
Uh-oh.
The movie 1984 never existed.
You too, PHI. You guys should re-show 1984. I would go crazy. All the other people. What happens when you vote for woke culture? Everybody's sissy and pansy and's offended.
Stay compliant. Stay isolated. Stay safe. And now, on to other news. Say goodbye to cows and beef. As you might know, cows and livestock agriculture in general is a
Well, there it is. They banned cow.
source of methane, a powerful greenhouse gas. Cows fart, and the temperature on Earth rises 1 degree with each cow fart, contributing to global warming. This is why the authorities started a cow extermination program, and today the last herd of cows has been dealt with. The Earth has officially become a cow-free planet, and climate change is finally under control. You might get concerned, where would we obtain our proteins from? Chicken and pork are not commonly accessible products, and beef is gone now. Do not worry. Hundreds of alternative protein manufacturing facilities have been constructed on each continent. They process thousands of tons of protein-rich food. This alternative food contains way more protein than beef. It is cheap to cultivate and it doesn't contribute to global warming. Kudos to science and green agenda. That is all for today. Stay tuned for tomorrow's news.
Bruce Kowalski. Your monthly universal basic income has been deposited into your account.
Check.
For more information, press details. You have been paid 2,000 central bank digital tokens. The following fees are being deducted: accommodation fee, food ration fee, recycling fee, clean energy fee, personal greenhouse gas emissions fee, climate change fee, diversity fee. Your current remaining balance is 5 central bank digital tokens, and if not spent, it will expire in 7 days.
Do I have enough to get some weed, or is that outlawed still too?
Attention. Important announcement.
Dear residents of the quarantine facility number 89, great news. Here at Nova Gene Labs, we grant you a chance to participate in the trials of our new drug, which has been developed by our research team. This drug is absolutely safe and will bring the end to the deadly virus we are all fighting together for the last several years. Those of you who chose to participate will get a significant social credit score boost. As the result, you will be relocated to a superior isolation facility, receive a higher universal basic income, and become eligible for an improved food ration. Should you choose to participate in the Nova Gene Labs clinical trials program, our specialist will visit you within the next few hours, make an injection, and will be daily monitoring your condition online. Your participation is very important to us and the rest of the world.
Ain't no fucking
Make a
guinea
difference.
pig.
Follow the science and make the right choice. Nova Gene Labs is not responsible for any side effects, injuries, or death followed after the injection. Sorry to hear that.
Go to Cuba. Yeah, fuck that. Leave me shit. For an electric helicopter, it's kind of loud. Oh, his buddy signed up for a test. Sun's out, no snow. What could go wrong? Oh, well, maybe he moved out. Maybe they brought him to the better facility. Give me a word. No biggie. He probably thinks he just moved. They moved him. Where's your coffee? Wait. Oh. Well, they're moving him out all right. Ah, hang on, Yeti. It's called Beyond the Reset. Just, that medicine that was 100% didn't work. Too late to wake up now. Pay attention.
A new virus that emerged in Asia a couple of months ago keeps spreading all over the world. Some countries are imposing lockdowns and stay-home orders to protect their populations from this highly contagious disease. In our country, 3 persons in their 90s died of the virus in long-term care facilities.
I wonder if it's gonna get me on strike. With toilet paper. Oh, that sounds
The
familiar.
virus keeps spreading in our country. Almost 500 new cases have been registered last week. As of today, the whole country is going into a complete lockdown. The health authorities are imposing a strict stay-at-home order. While these measures are tough, they are temporary. We need only 2 weeks to bend the curve.
The pandemic represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity to reflect, reimagine, and reset our world.
They're calling them crazy.
Despite strict lockdowns being in place, the virus cases keep growing exponentially. The government is considering the option of proclaiming a state of emergency in some areas and relocating citizens to safe and isolated quarantine facilities.
They already prepped us with that emergency notification on all devices.
Attention all citizens. Your district is contaminated and you will be evacuated immediately. Please take only necessary personal belongings and step outside of your homes. You will be transported to a safe, isolated location.
Remember, it's for your safety, my safety, it's for grandma's safety. Both of my grandmas are dead, so can I go back to my house, please? Well, at least you got the third floor, so nobody keeps stomping. Should have did this months ago, years ago. Fuck your drone. Let me rephrase that. Fuck your drone.
Attention. Non-compliant resident alert. Attention. Non-compliant resident alert. Attention. Non-compliant resident alert. Attention. Non-compliant resident alert. Attention. Non-compliant resident alert.
It's crazy though. That could be the future. The good thing about this video, it's a little bit of history, it's a little bit current events, and a little bit of what our future could be if we continue to live in fear and believe everything the media tells you. Believe everything that you read. Well, reading's very important. Especially the books they want banned. I don't know why they want to ban literature. Almost like the Nazis. They want to erase the past. And how do you erase the past? Well, you get rid of it and rewrite it like it was never there. Just like 1984, which seems, yeah, they already talked about making a sequel. They're still working on it. I'm glad you mentioned that. So, I don't know what to tell you. Because they did it before, which was a test. Now they did the emergency broadcasting on everybody's devices. Remember that test? And now all they need is another virus, another pandemic, or hell, maybe they're going to use the election. Right? Everybody is, Democrats win. Joe Biden wins. Everybody that was MAGA will now be a threat to the democracy of the United States. Everyone will be rounded up, and we get to go live in some places like, I don't know, a nice little camp in Kansas called Fort Leavenworth, and many, many more they will build around this country. Yeah. And watch, come this debate in June when he gets totally fucking demolished by Donald, what's going to happen is the Democratic Party is going to be like, oh shit. Yeah, this is our way out. We need to put somebody else. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, not telling y'all how to think, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and people that are really here to think. I'm just telling you to think. No. I think I fucked it up. I'm not telling you how to think. I'm just telling you to think. And sometimes when they call you crazy, it's okay. I've been called crazy for years. But I'm okay. Because what happens? Everything's proven to no longer be a conspiracy. So, be as you may, I'm glad y'all are here. At least you're open-minded and we're like, oh, whoa. This asshole might be legit. Or I could just be AI. Or a Fed. Either way, y'all still listening, and it's like Operation Mockingbird. Till tomorrow, y'all have a good day.
They always offended, it's often admitted. I'm all independent, I irritate those awfully wicked. Wait, pause for a minute. Bryson, why you causing division? I loved your music, now you're homophobic, all for attention. They say I'm only popular because I'm controversial. Or is it that your favorite rappers all with pop commercial? Y'all got Spotify to ban my songs, I guess my topics hurt you. And do y'all miss real hip-hop because this the time reversal? The baby can promote violence and drugs all on his CD, but he'll get canceled if he ever offends LGBT. I know everybody hates me, but I also know they need me. But they cancel me because I don't succumb my freedoms freely. And hip-hop wasn't always like this, bruh, believe me. Now rappers wearing dresses and calling each other sweetie. Well, somebody gotta say it, huh? Why can't it be me? Can I say screw Dr. Fauci? Can I say screw the CDC? Hey, Bryson, tone it down, you know we need your voice. God of the world, well, that's an easy choice. Who has time for some white guy in a BLM face mask? Playing my music, screaming everything that I say is bad. I can't bow down to the mob cause I'm too real. I can't be controlled cause I don't need a deal. They say you going way too far, you need to chill. Sorry, I don't really care about how you feel, ayy. I can't bow down to the mob cause I'm too real. I can't be controlled cause I don't need a deal. They say you going way too far, you need to chill, ayy. Sorry, I don't really care about how you feel.
I resurfaced on purpose, I'm Houdini. Now I ain't going nowhere like I'm Tim Pool's beanie. I got permanent sermons and words that can burn through a genie. I could perfectly search for the serpents and fly like an eagle, praise Jesus. Your favorite rapper is satanic. Great panic in the place, it ain't safe to be straight magic. Play patterns in your face till your brain scrambles from bass samples. Can't handle the heat, then get away from the flame candles. Don't quote this song, just say a prayer to the Holy Cross. I flip like motocross cause the news is faker than Photoshop. My flow is cold and hot, it's like Noah's Ark next to molten rock. So when I'm focused on being close to God, I can open locks. Big Pharma must be lobbying rappers cause they be telling you to get injections, partying after. Kids are dying from the fentanyl while popping the Xanax. And I don't want our friends to die, but that be part of this chapter. That's why I flip the script, hit the drip, get a grip, sedative, chill. Drink water, think smarter, ink artists sit on the quill. They want black to keep the cycle on and white to hate themselves. So can't you tell they want us all in camps and both to stay in jail? Don't let us fail.
I can't bow down to the mob cause I'm too real. I can't be controlled cause I don't need a deal. They say you going way too far, you need to chill. Sorry, I don't really care about how you feel, ayy. I can't bow down to the mob cause I'm too real. I can't be controlled cause I don't